Hello and welcome to my hobby bench once again, and on the table here I've got a completely disassembled engine, and this engine just so happens to be my Aviastar 46 ABC engine, and I believe I got this late summer last year. It was at the swap meet held here at the EAA grounds, my local club, Winnebago RC Flyers, their swap meet, and I wish I could remember when that is because I'm not on their mailing list anymore, so I don't know when their next swap meet is. But anyway, so I have had an Aviastar 46 before, but I never ran it. I ended up selling it, but I have had their 150 size two-stroke, and back then, that was, I don't know, 7 years ago or so, maybe more. I was super impressed with that engine. And at that time, this was probably 2 or 3 computers ago, I had some very good detailed documentation. It was either paper form or electronic form that talked about this company. Now, yes, this is an engine that's made in China, but this is not your typical Chinese-made engine at all. This is actually an incredibly high-quality engine. That's why I'm going to go through some of this really quickly. So this is not your Sanye based ASP Magnum type crap. This is actually a really high quality engine, and so I was taking it apart to check to see what size the bearings are because Boca, their website, doesn't have a listing for these engines at all. So I'm going to help them make a listing for this engine, but I needed to at least take off part of this so I could see what the size bearing is, and I'm just kind of going to guess at the size of the rear bearing because it looks about, about the size as most 46 size. So I'm going to get some bearings on order and then say, hey, Boca, can you make this kit for this engine? And then they'll have a kit for this engine. But anyway, so I was disassembling this engine. There were several things that I noticed right off the bat that really impressed me. And the first thing was this rear cover. I mean, I really like engines that have an O-ring seal, and this is just really, it's one of those things that's hard for you to maybe see on the outside, but when you start looking at the inside of an engine, you can just kind of tell the quality of the engine. At least that's my experience, and this is really a nice high quality engine, and I love the 150 I had. Now here's the head. Now these are kind of rough looking. I mean, they're just kind of a bead blast, maybe a sand cast engine, I'm not sure. And I do have a blurb here that I found from Model Engines World Index about the Aviastar engines, and apparently they were only manufactured from 2000 to 2010 in Canton, China. For the Hong Kong-based company Aviatronics Limited, and these were distributed in Europe by Cavan, and in the USA they were distributed by SIG. But I mean, look at this head. Here's the head, but look how deep and nice this is made. It's got a very small combustion chamber there, and I believe that this is a true ABC engine. Now I'm going to take, this is a piston and sleeve, and this engine's probably got, I think I ran it 2 or 3 times, and at the time I wasn't super impressed with the carb, and we'll get to that, but the engine itself I believe is super high quality. I mean, look at this sleeve. I believe that this is a true ABC metallurgy, but look at this piston. Look at the detail on this piston. Bronze bushed. It's just, it's a really high quality engine, I believe, and it's just beautiful. The external appearance may leave a little something to be desired, and of course this weird exhaust kind of leaves a little something to be desired, but the internals are really nice. Now, I would have to say that the 150 I had was really an excellent engine, and it ran exceptionally well. I think I had like 5 videos of that engine. This one, the carb seems to be kind of the drawback to this. However, I will also say this with this disclaimer. In the last video I made when I ran this engine, I used this carb and I used a Super Tiger carb. And basically, this carb outperformed the Super Tiger carb. Now, the issue I was really having with this, it wasn't that it didn't work or anything. It was just that it wasn't one of those things, and maybe it has to do with the timing. Maybe it has to do with how they've got the ports timed. It wasn't one of those things where it would just instantaneously accelerate if you really jammed on the throttle. If you just kind of pushed the throttle relatively slowly, it accelerated well. But it wasn't one of those things where you could just jam on the throttle and because it would lug a little bit. And I played with the low speed quite a bit. And like I said, that even followed through to the Super Tiger carb, which is an excellent carb. But I mean, all in all, this is really a super cool, super nice engine. And I was shocked to see, well, granted, it only has 3 runs on it, but still, it's beautiful. I mean, it looks like it could be just brand new, never run at all. So anyway, it looks like this front bearing is a little bit smaller than you would see on the ENK-001 kit, that's a pretty standard sized kit from Boca that spans a lot of different engines, and that has a R6 bearing in the front, and the rear is a 6902. And I'm thinking that this is a 6902. So I'm kind of going out on a limb and saying I need to get this. I've been looking for kits on SIG's site that have the 698 and the 6902 just kind of, I can't do a search just by using 2 bearing numbers, so I just sat there for about 30 minutes clicking on a bunch of kits and engines that look like they might be about the same size. I think I found one, and I'll just say I'm ordering that kit number, and we'll just put that in here and see if it's the right fit. And then SIG can create a site or create a listing for this. But they made, in the smaller 2-stroke displacement, they made the 46 and the 53, and this link I'm going to show or post up here, if I haven't already, shows a 200 size 2-stroke engine. And I had the 150, and I loved that 150. So I'm saying, just my personal opinion, if you ever happen to come across one of these engines in new condition, or especially the 150 or 200, buy that thing, because I think you will be pleasantly surprised at how good a quality of an engine that is and how well it runs. So that's our video for today.